happy in you having a BitTorrent application, although there is 1,001 legitimate reasons why you'd want one. And you could envisage a future where pressure is put onto Android because of a BitTorrent application where it's been decreed that it's piracy and it's evil and it should be cast down, etc., etc. And then somebody comes along and deletes it for your own good in inverted commas. And that's the worrying thing.
News about. I read about. Do you know how much do you know about Fox News in the U.S.? You have this person called Glenn Beck, which I suppose lots of people know about. Those at least who kind of watch the news or the internet, they probably know the person. And he works for Fox News, which is owned by Rupert Murdoch. And of course, Murdoch is a friend of companies like Apple and Microsoft, and he's a big fan of DRM and paywalls and all that sort of stuff. And he hates Google because Google gives stuff away. Until recently, Google would give you suggestions for search if you search around torrent, and now they kind of censored that. They want to show, look, we don't endorse torrents, and that's kind of the first sign of them being pressured by people like Rupert Murdoch and the entertainment industry. And now what they also do with Glenn Beck and Fox News, they start now to go really hard on Google and try to urge people not to use Google because, they're close to the government, which of course Apple and Microsoft also are close to, and they just had a meeting with the president, for lunch, all the CEOs of the companies.
Apart from Balmer, he didn't get an invite though, did he?
Yeah, and that's an interesting thing, and I just thought it would be strange if you had to sit there with Eric Schmidt, because I never see them together. And there were all sorts of very comical explanations of, why he wasn't there, and I don't think it matters too much. I think it's just a bit of a funny thing that they have to...
So I was just going to say, did Steve actually not get an invite, or was it because he was being knighted or something?
I didn't see the explanation. I saw a comic.
Right.
I saw a comic about it, and it was very funny.
Well, apparently he was getting some sort of knighthood in France, so Steve of Balmer was getting anointed.
Yeah, I was just going to post the video later today.
All right, that did make me chuckle. I mean, has he? I couldn't quite work out why he got it. Has he any French connection?
You have to check the Sarkozy history. He's got quite a history. He got caught in Microsoft. He got caught having a vacation in the house of a Microsoft executive at the time. His name was.
Well, I just couldn't work out the French connection.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you the name now.
Apparently, Steve Ballmer can speak quite good French, according to I won't say a very good source, but a source, and that's Microsoft Watch. They claim Balmer's French is okay.
It seemed like he was, he was reciting, I saw the video. He speaks French, but he's just doing something that he was preparing in advance, and he's just reading it out. And then kind of smiling in his very kind of Balmery way, and very tactless. It's a really bad thing what they do there, and I probably don't have to go into the details about how Sarkozy is friends with Gates and how he was helping OXML, and he's always from Microsoft in general, so I wasn't surprised he was. What's really troubling here is legitimizing this company, and these people are doing very, very nasty things, especially recently with patents and all, and he's giving them a medal, like this person is a very, you have to appreciate this person. Everyone had a very bad reactions to it, unless of course you're a fan of Microsoft, and then you very much enjoy seeing the crazy guy who represents the company, getting an award from a person who's I think among the people who like technology, Sarkozy's got a very bad name because of all sorts of policies he's been passed. He's doing some good things too, I'll give him that. But as far as technology is concerned, in France things have been pretty bad, especially from the higher. Both the president and the prime minister, they both have a very positive view of Microsoft, and they kind of promote the Microsoft vision of things, which was a bit unusual compared to some countries in Europe.
It's very strange because France's police service has moved over to Linux, and I remember writing this article in about 2008. They were moving to Ubuntu. Now, I assume that is still going on. They had a mass migration then.
Yeah.
I can't remember the figures off the top of my head. But very little is said about that now, but I assume everything's going well and the system's running well. One question I just got to very quickly ask. With Mr. Ballmer's award that he has, is he now Sir Steve Ballmer, or is it just a...
No, the medal is actually... I find pretty funny that the medal has some historical thing to do with Napoleon.
Napoleon, yeah, that's what I was
Yeah,
going.
but you kind of know what contribution Napoleon had to society and how he ended up his career. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So I just I had something funny to say about it when I found out about it last week. Um, so yeah, he's yeah, he sure had a lot of influence, but it's you know that's
Staying on the subject of sinking vessels, I want to just make a quick mention about our tablets. I watch Click, and it's something that I always regret doing because I never find much value on that. But sometimes I have a loose end, a few minutes, and it happens to be on a Sunday when I'm sat in the front room. So and they were showing the Google tablet operating system, and it looks very impressive, and they were showing a few others as well. But what was surprising for the BBC Click was that there was no real mention of Microsoft and their tablets. Now, I think we covered in the previous show that when Steve Ballmer was confronted about the tablet issue at CES, there was a lot of sort of sidestepping and, well, yes, that's a tablet, but look what we've got here type thing. And it was some sort of transformer and I say transformer, it was like a tablet that had a pull-out keyboard that bent round and turned into a little mini laptop. So it was like one of those transformer toys that you got as a kid. So really, it was a laptop. Didn't know if you had any comments on that.
He had a very similar. One of the most famous videos, if you look around YouTube, except for the very viral videos of Balmer dancing around and sweating and things like that, one of the most viewed ones would be the iPhone. And the reaction of the Balmer had to the iPhone around 2007 or something. He said he was making fun of the price of the iPhone. And what he did next, as far as I can recall, he was talking about some Toshiba devices or some phones with Windows Mobile at the time. Of course, Windows Mobile is just like going extinct now. But at the time, he was trying to say that they had some phones with like keyboards or on-screen keyboards, maybe actual physical keyboards, and he was trying to show you something that's not an iPhone, and saying the iPhone is bad because we have something like completely different, a completely different form factor, and we and we basically we aren't afraid by Apple's offerings, but we don't actually have anything like that, and just reminded me of the same type of reaction of trying to move to a different type of device. When you do not have anything to match that with. There was a similar reaction, also quite famous, with Guy Kawasaki was showing you the MacBook Air around 2008 or 2009, I think 2009, and they were on stage, and Ballmer, seriously, talking quite humbly here, I don't think Ballmer has very good interaction with people. He doesn't know how to behave in a normal way. He was starting to throw around the laptop of the MacBook Air of Kawasaki, acting in like a kid basically. He felt jealous at the time, and then he was pulling out his Toshiba. I think it was Toshiba, and showing him that he's got a DVD drive and trying to and his facial impression and the way he was acting. The crowd was reacting in a didn't really know what to say because he was acting like a kid on stage. Very jealous of this person's laptop. And there too, he was comparing something that weighs like, I don't know, less than a kilogram maybe, to one of those fat, big kind of laptops from, I don't know, like late 90s or something. And again, not comparing like with like. When it comes to phones, until not so long ago, he was comparing things like the iPhones and Android to the Kin or Zune or what was the Zune phone? It's completely different classes, and every person, as soon as it comes out, they say, why would a person pick this thing when they have the Android? The Android is a lot more advanced, and this is the sort of situation Microsoft is in. They don't actually initiate any groundbreaking. They had what was called that Surface, which of course would be very, very expensive, and it's like a massive thing just to build one. Not surprisingly, it would cost you like $15,000, and then it's just like a big, huge thing in your house. You don't do anything with it. It doesn't have any application that actually make use of the capabilities of the hardware features. That's
I
just.
mean, even the Surface wasn't something new. I remember when I first saw that. And if you go back, and this is to show my age a bit now, but many years ago, and probably looking about 20, 25 years ago, in pubs you used to have the tabletop arcades, which you could sit round, put your drinks on,